Hey guys, Ryan here, and today we're back with Running with the Pack, and yeah, not a great day, I'll be honest. Not a great day for anyone in the sports industry. I mean, MLB, spring training, canceled. NBA, rest of their season, canceled. NHL, canceled. MLS, canceled. NFL, canceled. XFL, canceled. Until from hearing about June, IndyCar canceled their first race of their season, and canceled this weekend's and next week. Homestead have both been completely canceled and wiped, or well, not canceled, but postponed, which essentially means canceled unless they can find a spot on the calendar to put it, which I think there are. I don't know how likely they are, but talk about those little. I just kind of want to mention that this. I don't want to talk here last several weeks without videos. Of course, the last video of this series was my Daytona 500 predictions video. First off, I was. Second off, yeah, we had and my something I would talk about to this day. I don't think I'm necessarily qualified to give a professional opinion on what happened myself. Deal with having happened in the sport. So I tried to find the West Coast swing was just gone. Like I was trying to videos, but not it. At this point I just needed to start making videos again, and I missed out on. It was solid races. Phoenix was awesome, and I'm glad to see that we're gonna be back there for the championship race. I wasn't necessarily after the fall or after the winter race there last November, or was it November? Yeah, I think it was still technically November for the Phoenix race last year. But we'll be back in November for that as the championship decider. I don't foresee any of this scheduled stuff changing that with how big a bid they've made for that championship race. So I guess let's talk about well, first off, what does this mean for the sport? Of course, they sent home all of the people that had already gotten to the race, and those races will not be happening. Now, while those races aren't happening, the teams are heading back to the shops and are essentially going to sit around and wait. Of course, a lot of them have closed down like their race shop tours as well because of the virus. I can't actually name it because I'm on this platform called YouTube, and YouTube doesn't particularly want us talking about it. So I'm just going to refer to it as the virus. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, so yeah. But looking forward at this, to be honest, I think the biggest thing is fans having to stick together. But for this week and next week in particular, a lot of what I'm going to be looking for, and I'm sure a lot of what you guys are going to be looking for, is either esports racing, so either iRacing or NASCAR Heat 4 type of racing, and potentially getting to see some gameplay on that. And I will be bringing some either gameplay videos. I'm also planning on streaming tomorrow night after I get home from work, so feel free to let me know what you guys are looking for as a type of video you guys would like to see for like video game racing throughout this week. Could do some iRacing videos. I could do some NASCAR Heat videos. Just let me know which type of content you guys want to see. I'm still going to be broadcasting for the racing leagues that I broadcast for on the regular. Thomas Cup Series and Fire Cup Series on Thursdays and Tuesdays respectively, both at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then, of course, the Misfits Racing League this Sunday night for the Truck Series at 7:30, as well as Monday night, same time, both 7:30 Eastern for the National Series. And then also another thing that for people that aren't necessarily the biggest fans of esports and whatnot, and aren't real and are kind of still pumping the brakes on that, NASCAR uploads the full races to YouTube. So literally Google up your favorite race from the last several years, and you can probably go find it and rewatch one of the like instant classics or one of your favorite races throughout the week, waiting for NASCAR races for NASCAR to get on track. So for me in particular, I'll probably go back and watch some older Indy 500s because that's another option around, and I want to watch some Indy car racing as well. So yeah, so none of all that kind of personal and more business stuff is taken care of for you in terms of like YouTube and whatnot. I think the big thing is that they showed that they were trying to drag their feet, and if there was any way possible to keep this race going, they wanted to do it. Of course, we now know that there was not a financially doable, or I guess just a doable way in general. There was no possible way to get that race in, on even just for a televised audience, even if there were no fans in attendance, even if they compressed the schedule. It just didn't work out, and to be honest, I think we kind of saw the writing on the wall with how all the other teams and leagues were canceling. I didn't think there was really much hope that NASCAR was going to be able to, but at least not after the first. After the first one, I kind of figured, okay, maybe they can get away with this. And then when they changed it this afternoon, I was starting to think, okay, they're showing that they're willing to be fluid with it. That probably means that it will get postponed or canceled. So right now, the status of Homestead and Atlanta are postponed, which means they are viable to race at another date. Let's just go through the calendar real quick and see what there are for openings throughout the season, and see where we can maybe see an extra race or two squeezed in, because I don't think that these are the last two races that are going to get canceled. I guess you'd look at Easter weekend. I believe that is right after. I think that's right before Richmond, or it's right after Richmond. But I think you could put it in on Easter Saturday, not Easter Sunday. We're not racing on Easter Sunday, I'm not suggesting that. I know that's not going to happen. But having, say, trucks on Friday and then running a similar schedule to what they were talking about this afternoon or this morning, with running Cup and Xfinity on the same day, squeeze it all in on Easter. If this is cleared up by Easter, I mean, I'm not necessarily sure if it is going to be cleared up by Easter. But if it is cleared up by Easter, that would be a potential weekend, an off weekend to do it. You could copy that format and paste that in for Father's Day as well, which is in June, gives them a lot more time to get the virus contained, eliminated, what have you, or whatever ends up happening with it. That would be the option, I guess, another option as well. So that would be another opportunity, and it's a lot later, so you would have at least that one. And then I really only see the only other break in the NASCAR schedule really is the 2-week break for the Olympics, which of course that's during the NBC portion of the season, where Fox could potentially bring a race because Fox is the paid broadcaster for right now. So Atlanta Homestead during that 2-week break. I'd like to see that happen. I'm not entirely sure that is going to be what happens, but late July, early August, I mean, that gives it a lot of time. I'm not going to say plenty because I don't know how hard this is going to be to contain. I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be. And I'm not going to really talk about the actual medical condition because I don't know. I haven't talked to doctors. I haven't I don't know anyone that has the virus. So I'm not going to try and make a claim like, oh, it should be dealt with by July or something. But I'd like to think that they can get it, that this can be contained by July, and that we can see NASCAR that we can see those two races fit in there. Now, of course, if it isn't dealt with by then you have the question of how many races are we going to try and make up and actually fit into the season. And then you've got to think, okay, maybe doing the same thing you've done with Pocono and condensing Michigan into one race, or into one race weekend. Not necessarily the biggest fan of that, but it would be a way to get an extra week out of that. And I guess the only other options would be potentially midweek races around, like, say, Daytona or other times when they're down in the southeast. Would be really the only other real options for trying to get those races done. Would be midweek races, which I don't know how that would work scheduling-wise. To do a full, like, to have Truck Xfinity Cup all midweek. I mean, that would take up essentially the entire midweek. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't necessarily see it from a scheduling perspective. Like, I get that NASCAR is looking at it, but I'm assuming that would be more standalone truck or standalone cup races that we would see if we did see midweek, say, cup races. I think it would be standalone, where it would be just the Cup Series going and racing at, say, Richmond in the middle of the week, or Nashville Fairgrounds. I think if we see that, I think it's going to end up being standalone races, so I don't know what the options would be for this. But yeah, so in the end, though, kind of the way I'm going to leave you guys on this video, I think all in all, the NASCAR community, I think we need to not bash NASCAR. I think right now they have done everything in their power to try and get this race to us, the fans, and in the end, between local government and I'm sure potentially even the national government potentially getting, with policies and whatnot about large gatherings, really kind of threatening the races in all sorts of areas. So, yeah, in the end, I think we all need to support NASCAR and support each other in the community, especially as I'm sure that, people that aren't with, say, Fox Sports that were planning on going to the race with media credentials and whatnot for those races. They are going to lose a lot of money probably on this, because at least for those that aren't being paid by, say, a corporate, or by being paid by whoever they're working for. Like, for example, any YouTubers that went to the Atlanta race aren't really going to get, there's going to be no real ROI for them, unfortunately. And they've said their ticket policy, it's fine. Sure, I'd like to see a refund as just a straight option, but the way that they've laid it out essentially makes it a little easier for at least local fans. Like, say you're local to the Atlanta area, the way they've done their refund is that you can use that ticket now on any race, any motor speedway race, essentially. So any of the motor speedways, including New Hampshire Motor Speedway, if any of you guys happen to be up this way, would be essentially an opportunity, or a 2021 Atlanta race if you are local to the area and like to stay local and are just kind of very localized. That would be an option now that's available. Now, I don't know when it's going to end up falling on the schedule, because they actually pushed back their date for the 2021 schedule. I will have a prediction video on that out at some point here fairly soon, and hopefully before they get the official schedule out. But yeah, in the end, though, we just need to support each other and support this sport. So thank you guys all for watching. I'd like to say hopefully you enjoyed, but there really isn't much to enjoy about this. Hopefully you were informed about something new through this video. Yeah, in the end, it's not a great day for NASCAR. It's literally, this level of effect has not happened to this degree since, I'm going to say, 9/11, and that was only one event. That was one weekend, essentially, or 1 week, worth that 1 to 2 weeks it was actually impacted by that. To my knowledge, I was not alive, or I was barely alive at the time of 9/11, so I don't. So a lot of what I have to go off of is looking back at schedules from 2001 and how it played out. But then I don't think, other than that, I mean, I've heard people saying about like an earthquake in '88 that was apparently similar to this. But really, I mean, since the last World War, I don't think we've had this kind of shutdown on public events that has affected every major sports league. So, to be honest, this is just one of those where we're going to have to ride it out. NASCAR is not dead. This is not any sort of, NASCAR is never going to bounce back from it. NASCAR is definitely going to return. And when it is, I hope you and I hope everybody that watches this video, including myself, I am going to be very ready whenever NASCAR feels that it is safe to return to running races, whether that be business as usual, whether they ease back into it by going with 0 fans in attendance, and then eventually start allowing fans back in. Regardless of how they do it, I am going to be excited for when it comes back, and hopefully you guys won't. Or hopefully you guys will be too. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.